Hello, my name is Mr. Bryce, and I'm with Susquehanna Valley High School here in Conklin, New York, and we're going over the Algebra Common Core Regions, 2015, June 2015. And right now we're taking a look at problem number 28. 28 is a Whopper where you just take small bites. You don't want to eat the whole hamburger at once. If the difference of this minus that is then multiplied by 1/2 x squared, what's the result? Let's do small bites. It says take the difference. So you write down 3x squared minus 2x plus 5, subtract x squared plus 3x minus 2. Now remember, this problem is broken up into 3 smaller problems. So we first take three x squared minus 1x squared. And what do we get? 2x squared. Then do negative 2x minus positive 3x. Negative 5x. Positive 5 minus negative 2 is positive 7. And we check, okay, we're going to have a smaller number. We're going to have even smaller when negative 5 is smaller than negative 2. And then here, we got it. Just checked it by doing it twice. Then it says, multiply that answer, the result, the answer by 1/2 x squared. So I'm going to write down 2x squared minus 5x plus 7, and I'm going to multiply it by 1/2 x squared. Make sure that I wrote that down correctly. It is. So half of 2 is 1, and x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. Half of negative 5 is 2.5, and x squared times x is x cubed. Half of 7 is 3.5, or 3.5. And then x squared times x to the 0 is x squared. There we go. So I used the rainbow method there instead of using the area method. If you have any questions, ask now. Let's go on to number 29. Dylan invested $600 in a savings account at 1.6% annual interest rate. He made no deposits or withdrawals for 2 years. Annual, that means yearly. The interest was compounded annually. To find the nearest penny, 0.00. The balance in the account after 2 years. Interest rate. What did Mr. Bryce tell you about interest rate? It is going to be compounded and it's going to grow exponentially. So remember, f of x equals the starting amount, 1, either plus if it's growing or minus if it's decaying, the percent over 100 raised to the, since I used x there, it's going to be x there. I used x in the parenthesis, have to use x as the exponent. So the start is the amount. We have $600. And what am I going to plug in here? F of 2, because it says what's the answer after 2 years. Starting amount was $600. It's 1. Is it going to be plus or minus? Plus, because it's increasing. Hopefully your money is growing. The percent is 1.6 over 100, and the exponent is 2. If you type that into your calculator, now I turn the recording back on just to make sure you know how to get the exponent. If the exponent wasn't a 2, we know we can hit just the square key. But that key right there, that caret key, just above the division key, is how we can get an exponent. And to get out of that, just hit the right arrow. Enter to, oh, hang on, I must have made a mistake. Enter. So I'm going to hit choice 2 to go to the error. 1 extra parenthesis. You see how the cursor just went right on top of that, the little blinky thing? So I hit delete to get rid of that extra parenthesis. Hit enter. $619.35. I forgot it already. $619.35. Now, does it ask how much interest, or does it ask find the nearest cent of balance in the account, the balance? So if it asks for interest, it's only going to be $19.35, but the balance is that. How do I get full credit for this? I wrote down the equation, I plugged in the values, and there is the answer. If I didn't do that, I'd have to say what keys I hit on the calculator. There are no more questions here. Number 30. Determine the smallest integer that makes this statement true. Okay, what if that was an equal sign instead of an inequality? Then you'd start combining like terms and doing all this stuff, solving for x. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to solve for x. We have negative 3x and negative 5x on the same side as the inequality. So you do the same thing it tells you to. So we have negative 8x. Negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8. And then plus 7 is less than 15. Well, now let's get rid of that 7. Did I divide by a negative? No, I didn't. So I leave that alone. Is less than 8. Now I am dividing by a negative. What do you do when you divide by a negative? Oh, I have to change the direction of the inequality. So x is greater than negative 1. Is it equal to negative 1? Let me see. Nope, there was no equal sign up there. It's just greater than negative 1. What's the smallest number bigger than negative 1? The smallest number that's bigger than negative 1, that's an integer, so no decimals. Bigger than negative 1. Oh, so the answer is 0. Does it say x equals determine the smallest integer that makes this true? I can just say 0 is the answer. 0 is the biggest number that's just a little bit bigger, the smallest number, a little bit bigger than negative 1. 0. I think you're lying to me, Mr. Bryce. I don't know if that's true. Well, 0 is supposed to make this true. So why don't we just check it, since there's lots of time, tick-tock on the clock when we have this test. So I just plug in plus 7 minus 5 times 0 has to be smaller than 15. Okay, that 0 plus 7, that is 0. Is that less than 15? Yes, it is. So 7 is less than 15. Now, if I plug in negative 1, negative 3 times negative 1 plus 7 minus 5 times negative 1 has to be less than 15. This may be true. We have 4 plus 7 plus 6. Is that less than 15? It's asking, is 17 less than 15? No. Okay, I got the mistake right here. That's a 3. And this is a 5. I was stuck on arithmetic. So Kim comes in on 15. 15 is less than 15. That's still not true, but it should have come out to be 15. It should have come out to be exactly 15, because when I solved this, okay, it said any number bigger than negative 1. So when it checks, it should be that right there, just like an equation. Sorry about that. Just had a little arithmetic error. And this question we're going to do on the next video.